Hey, what's up, guys? Joshua here with a live day trading recap video. So I'm actually doing this pretty late here on Sunday night. Spent the whole weekend just studying my trades this past month and working on improving my trading overall. So as you can see here, watching Ford. My entry is going to be over the break of pre-market highs, but end up missing my entry. So you'll see here in a couple of seconds, the bell's about to ring. 3, 2, 1, and the bell's rang, and let's see what happens. So look at that. Look at how fast that moved. And these stocks will do that sometimes. They'll just, you probably missed it. Let me just go back a little bit. That's how fast it moves. Watch when the bell rings. You have to be quick. You have to be really quick with your entries. We didn't even, it wasn't even a tenth of a second that we were on 72. So that just shows how fast these stocks move. So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, my next entry would be over the $0.50. So I quickly go to 3. Or I'm thinking about it at least. So over the $0.50, really I should have gotten in right about now. But you can never be too sure, though. Sometimes the whole dollar. Sometimes the whole dollar acts as resistance, and so to get in early would sometimes not work out. But if you get in early enough, then you can always sell and still make a small profit. Or if you do lose, you're losing not as much just because you did get in early. So that's the benefit of that. Just the anticipating the breakout. But you can see here, this is definitely going to go past 3. So I'm in. I got in at 292, so I got in early, which is good. Tried selling up there at 307. Couldn't get filled, so I quickly flipped to the bid and sold at 302. And you can see how quickly this reverses. And Ford's not done for the day, though. It's still got a lot of potential. It's still got a lot of power. And so at this point, I'm thinking, okay, this is just a little micro 1 minute pullback. And it's also at the whole dollar. So I'm going to get in for the break of the whole dollar, right? Very valid entry. And so you can see a very large ask stack, but you can also see a really large bid stack as well. All those buyers and sellers stacked up there on the bid and the ask. 3.5 million shares of volume. So, 2 minutes into the day, and it's already almost at 4 million shares of volume. Definitely a very crowded stock, and that could be good and bad. So that candle just closed. So I'm looking for this break right here at 3. Look at this. It's coming up. I'll just leave this playing just so you can see the price action. I thought it happened earlier, but it might be toward the end of this candle that we get that pop. And so you can see definitely a lot of selling going on. A lot of sellers just holding this down for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe shorts, trying to short. Maybe people just dumping stocks. I don't know exactly why there's so much resistance in this area. But we closed that candle. So that 1 minute pullback is not really valid anymore. At this point, I'd be looking for a high of day break. And so you can see up there at 3, we hit 3, and immediately we get rejected. And that was a nasty rejection. And at this point, I should be selling. I end up selling, bailing out at 84. Just a nasty rejection. Look at that. That's not what you like to see. That's a false breakout. And so what turned into a potential really good trade, or what could have been a potential really good trade, just turned into a bad trade. So that comes with the territory. I don't think that's a bad trade. It was just a false breakout. The setup was there, break of or break of high of day, and over the whole dollar, but there was just too much resistance there, so we couldn't get through. So I think I'm done with Ford for the day, or I may trade it one more time later on, but for now I'm done. So you can see I went from being up $50 after commissions, $40 to, after that trade, down $50 on the day after commissions. So I'm going to fast forward here. Let's see what the next trade is. I think it was around 40. Okay, yep, so CHFS was the next trade. You see CHFS in the chart right there. I'm going to pause it just to talk about this for a second. So the right hand side right here, look at the chart. Look at all these doji candles. It's a very unattractive chart. There's not much of a setup here, but I still somehow managed to get in, and you can see that I immediately reject that entry. Just not good at all. And you could try to justify it and say, well, technically this was the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. But after all these doji candles and topping tails, it's not a good setup, and I should have recognized that and been a lot better with my risk management on that one. So right there, lost another, $15. Got in at 423, sold at 420. So, I managed my risk in that I sold early. I kept my stops really tight, but still, just not a good entry. I could have avoided that trade altogether just by recognizing those doji candles and the small amount of volume that we have as well. You can see the volume just decreasing. So my next trade was on RCG right after this one. Let me back up a little bit. Or RCG rather, not RGC. Alright, so there I am buying. Average is 194. And this right here, as you can see, is an entry. So it's a good setup. It's a good setup because we are at the whole dollar, and the whole dollar is also the high of day break. And so it's always a good thing when you have like multiple setups in one entry like that. And so anytime you have a solid setup that also meets, like a break of the half dollar or a break of the whole dollar, it always just kind of adds to the validity of that setup, at least for me. And so you can see I'm in at 194, and at this point I'm up $70, which isn't bad. And you see I'm trying to sell up there, end up just selling. Unfortunately, got filled at 201. I tried to get filled at 209 on the ask. In retrospect, I should have just sold on the bid because I was up $70. For 500 shares, that's really good. That's a really good win for just 500 shares. So I'm looking at NSYS. I don't end up trading it, so I'm just going to kind of skip through this again. Nothing there to see. So I get back into Ford again. So I got back into Ford actually on a circuit breaker halt. So let me go ahead and so I pull the chart up, and by the time I get it up, the halt is happening, and I get filled. Okay, I'm in. So this was probably one of my most disappointing trades today because I could have made a lot more money on it, but I sold way too fast. So I'm gonna fast forward through this circuit breaker halt to show you what I mean. I think this one was just a 5-minute circuit breaker halt. So go through. We'll resume here in a few seconds, but I don't know. You can see right here I'm filled at 338, and as soon as we resumed, I sold. I don't know why I did that, what I was thinking, but just watch for yourself here. Boom, I'm out. Look at how fast that goes up after I sell though. I sell at 342, and we went to a high there of 360 something, 360 or 370. We're back up there now to 375. That would have been another good entry though. That there was a pullback there. And when this candle closes and a new one opens, the high of the pullback right here would be a great entry. And you could even do high of day as well. And so this is pulling back right here. But if this closes red, that's fantastic, right? Because then you get in for the break of the previous candle's high, which would be that 1-minute pullback right there. If this closes green, this is still a valid pullback. You would just be getting in right about now. And look at that. Look at all the volume that comes in. That's because thousands of other traders are watching the same exact thing. And so when you have a setup like that, other traders take note, and you just have to trust the setup. And that's something that I've had to work on myself personally, was just trusting the setups. Knowing that, okay, I see a valid setup here. Let me just get in, because there have been many times in the past where I have missed like fantastic entries that could have turned into really big wins, but I second guessed it. I questioned it, So I could have gotten in there, and you could see in retrospect, the candle closed red still, but there was still a lot of potential there. So you can see some resistance up there at 390-ish. $389. So if we were to break that level, I would look at it either I would look to get back in either over that, right there. So either over the high of day or over $4 would have been another valid entry. So you can see I tried to get in at 75. At this point, I think SureTrader had restricted the stock 1-to-1, so I couldn't buy it, which was unfortunate because that would have been a fantastic win. My entry at 75, you can see we're up to $4. Went to a high of like 415, so would have been a good win. And so at this point of the day, this was actually my last trade for the day. So I'm back in the green, with my realized $6, but after commissions, of course, I'm red. So those commissions in SureTrader will just absolutely kill you. So at this point, though, since I'm still somewhat in training with small size, that's fine. That's fine with me. If I close the day red because of commissions, but I'm green in my actual trades, that's totally fine, because that tells me that I'm doing it right. I'm still winning. Because if I had larger size, then of course I would the commissions wouldn't affect me. It's just the fact that I'm trading with small size that the commissions do affect me. So, but you can see right there though, some very good entries all throughout here. You have a 1-minute micro pullback right here. Could have gotten in at the high of the pullback, which is also high of day. After the halt, you have, even the halt. I personally like to get into halts before they halt if I missed the move prior, just because most of the time they open up higher, and then you got that squeeze after the halt. But then you got another 1-minute pullback right here. The high of that candle would have been a good entry. And, we'll see what happens right here. So a doji candle right there. It's not favorable, not something that you necessarily like to see, but you see we pop over that level just a little bit. Definitely a lot of resistance, a lot of sellers just holding this down. So, but that's it for me today. That was my last trade. So hopefully that was helpful for you guys. Hopefully I've been thorough enough about explaining my trades and everything. So I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's Monday, and with another live trading recap video and a day trading recap video as well. So hopefully we see some good opportunities tomorrow, and I'll take what I've learned from studying this weekend and just apply it to tomorrow's trading. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye.